Studios in Brea, California, here is the Doyledin Podcast.
Welcome back to the Doyledin Podcast, where we're going to be talking about the life of Hulk Hogan as a whole, since we have just recently lost Hulk Hogan. And we're also going to be talking about our predictions for SummerSlam as well. But first off, I just want to get the show started. We got to honor Hulk Hogan. I think we just have to let it out, talk about him. And yeah, I feel like you have more history with Hulk Hogan in WWE than I do, as well as WCW. So take it away.
Yeah, I mean, and that's part of why we didn't. I mean, we were supposed to record last Thursday, and of course, that's the day he passed away. And I didn't want to do anything right away because that should be saved for people who knew him. Some of those guys have podcasts, and I just felt out of respect, we just not jump in like we knew him or anything like that, and start, oh well, Hulk this and Hulk that, but. I never met Hulk, never worked with him. But when I was at WWE, I heard, conflicting stories about him, and I can get into that in a few minutes. And my conversation with the Big Show, Paul White, after that. But it's not you. I think we should all be thankful. I mean, we're here talking about wrestling on a weekly basis because of Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon, two guys who are in the last few years have come under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of controversy. But at the same time, when you look at the wrestling aspect of things, anybody who's been involved in wrestling the last 40 years owe it to them. Because basically, Vince took a gamble. And he took a gamble with Hulk. He had options, and we'll get into that here momentarily as well. That Hulk Hogan was not the first choice to be in the spot that he was in for WWE. We go back to Hulk was born in Georgia on August 11th, 1953, and then his parents, I think, because his dad's job, they moved to Port Tampa in Florida, and he had an older brother, Alan. Another crazy story, by the way.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know this history, so I'm learning as you're talking about it. So
there's nothing dull about the life of Terry Bollea, who later became Hulk Hogan. Everything is fascinating. It really is. So he got into wrestling. He learned how to play the bass guitar, and he was a big dude, naturally big dude. Loved to hit the gym. Mid-teens, he started watching wrestling for the first time because back then it was territorial, right? So he was in Florida, so he only got to see what was shown locally in Florida, and that was CWF, Championship Wrestling of Florida, run by Eddie Graham. And he saw that, loved Dusty Rhodes on TV, started going to the shows at the Tampa Sportatorium. That's when superstar Billy Graham came along, and he just like, holy shit, that guy's huge. I want to be like him, if not better, as far as the look and physique and all that goes. Of course, it was a thing. Maybe I'll be a wrestler in the future. Who knows? Whatever. Anyway, he's in a band. He's doing his thing. He's he's going to the University of Southern Florida, and he's playing a bar. He's playing at the bars on the weekends with his band, Ruckus. And
I didn't even know he had a band.
Oh yeah.
So is it just like a rock band or something?
Yeah, it's just a rock band, but it's big locally. I mean, it's for that time, not like now where everything's on social media and everything's on the internet. Back then it was like, holy shit, we got to go clamor to this bar because this band is popping, and it's the big thing in the local scene, and that's the only way to go see him. You can't just, again, no internet, right? This is way before that time. So, as anybody in the wrestling business knows, especially back then, boys are done with the matches. They hit the bar because they're looking to pick up some drinks or some women. And they go to this bar where Hogan's playing, and Jerry and Jack Briscoe, two legends in the business. Jerry's still with us. super nice guy. I worked with him in WWE. Even I think he's in his late 70s now. He's still probably stretched the hell out of most of the guys on the WWE roster. Not to be messed with, Jerry Briscoe. But anyway, they see Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea, and they say, "Dude, what are you doing? You should really come be a wrestler." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to be a wrestler and blah blah blah." And here's a fascinating thing actually. Jerry and Jack Briscoe go to a bar and see Hulk Hogan, two brothers, two legit brothers, and discover Hulk Hogan, right? And they
Yeah.
are what catapults him into going, "Fuck it, let's do it. Let's get into wrestling."
That's insane.
Who is the other biggest superstar with the longevity and the captivating persona like Hulk Hogan
Warrior,
in
right? Oh,
modern times?
I would say Uso, Jay Uso.
I'd say John Cena
Oh, well, yeah, that too. But
with the longevity.
oh,
With
yeah,
John
yeah,
Cena,
yeah. Longevity, yeah. But as in terms of like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I misunderstood your question.
that's okay. Yeah, yeah. No, no. I mean, you go back to the 80s, right? And the guy who captivates all the audience with the kids and everything and is known worldwide for what he does, gets into the movies, discovered by two brothers while in the rock band. You fast forward to the late 90s and two brothers, Mark and Chris Bell, friends of mine who were in UPW, discovered John Cena at Gold's Gym. I said, "You got to be a wrestler." And then brought him to UPW. Same kind of situation. Kind of weird, right? I
Yeah,
thought it was fascinating.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah. Both
anyway.
they both also have the same kind of heel turns. I mean, I
Really?
remember John Cena had that heel turn. Everybody just was like, "Oh, it's like NWO Hogan, NWO
Yeah.
Hogan." It's literally like NWO Hogan. So
Yep.
that's
And
that's
he's as
crazy.
popular as a heel as he was a face too. Just like Hogan was when he's in the NWO. People hated that first, but now they're like they thought NWO was cool. But anyway, so Hogan decides in '76 he wants to start training at Eddie sorry, no, with Matsuda, Hiro Matsuda. And he's the guy who trains everybody for FCW. Or sorry, CWF, sorry. FCW is way later. CWF, Championship Wrestling in Florida. Only problem is Eddie's son Mike used to go to school with Hogan with Belea, and they didn't get along at all. So he said, no, he's not going to be training here. Well, Hogan decides, I got to make a decision here. I'm going to go be a wrestler, and he's telling everybody that. So he works his way in, and Eddie finally says, "Fine, that's fine. You come be a student here with Matsuda." The first session, his first training session, guess what happens?
Completely botches things, I would assume.
No, Matsuda breaks Hogan's leg.
Oh shit.
Now, rumor has it, that was kind of Matsuda's kind of thing. Is that I don't like this guy, and Eddie doesn't like this guy, so it was done purposely. Uh, and so 10 weeks on the shelf, and he comes back. And he's like, "I'm ready to go again." And Matsuda tries the same thing with him, but this time Hogan's ready, blocks him, protects himself. Matsuda gets a lot of respect for him out of this, sort of the Grahams. And he's now part of what's going on, right? So after that, 77, 1 year in training with the Grahams, Briscoe's come back in town. And again, remember, this is territorial, so they're doing a loop. They're doing a loop, and they probably come back twice all year. Who knows? But Jack goes up to Hogan, gives him his boots, and says, "Here you go. You're wrestling next week." So that's fine. You should be ready, right? You've been training for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna go his first match, and he's going against Brian Blair, who later on becomes B. Brian Blair and the Killer Bees in the WWF, right? As part of with oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. I'll think of his name later. But anyway, he's going to be called Terry Boulder. That's his name.
Ooh, that's a good name.
It's not, yeah, Boulder, right? It's like they got to come up with something that personifies the look, big rock, big boulder. So he's going to be Terry Boulder. They're supposed to go out there and do a 15-minute draw, but as a rib, yeah, Blair just keeps it going, and they end up doing a 30-minute draw. Gasses up Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
and that's his first introduction to pro wrestling matches. He after a few matches, he decides he's going to be called the Super Destroyer, which is a gimmick that was used by other people with a mask on. He wanted to just separate himself from what he had done as Terry Boulder. He wanted to do something else. And then he leaves CWF. He leaves CWF and decides to quit wrestling. He's done. Because of the ribbing, because of just not feeling that it was going the way he wanted it to go.
Yeah.
From a very young age, he had a very solid business mindset. He really understood where he wanted to be. And if it wasn't going to go the way that he wanted to go, well, then he'll go do something else. So he goes in and opens up he goes to work at a club with Whitey Bailey or something his name was, and they decided then to also open up a gym together. Well, they're working that, and then his buddy, Hogan's buddy, Ed Leslie, comes back to town. They've been high school friends and all that. Ed Leslie is Brutus Beefcake. And Leslie was not the big jacked up dude you saw on WWE. He was in decent shape,
Mm-hmm.
but he started working out. He started helping to manage both the club and the gym, and then he started working out with Hogan, and he was getting jacked.
I feel like with a
And
name like Leslie, you have to hit the gym, especially as a man being named Leslie. Like
uh,
you can't walk around with that name, with like
that's
noodle arms like me,
yeah, well, that was his last name. So Ed Leslie
Oh,
was
okay,
so,
gotcha. Still,
yeah, still. So anyway, after seeing how jacked up he's getting, soon enough, he's like, "Hey, dude, I really miss the wrestling. It'd be best." And again, I don't. I want to pause by saying this is what he said. These are stories I've heard from people I've worked with, people who knew Hogan and all that. Also, other interviews and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to come off like I was there or I knew him. But anyway, Hogan tells Leslie, "Hey, we can have each other's backs, and we can go as a tag team and do all that stuff." And Ed Leslie was like, "Yeah, let's do it." But he didn't want to work in Florida again after all the bullshit he went through with CWF and
yeah.
some of the ribbing and all that good stuff. So he reached out to superstar Billy Graham, and he's like, "Hey, can you get me some bookings? I don't want to work in Florida. Give me something else, outside there." So he gets booked in Alabama, both of them, and they go in there as Terry and Ed Boulder, as brothers, right? Nobody knew, because again, it's territorial. It's not national TV. Unless you're in a certain area, you're not seeing what's going on there, unless you get a magazine or something like that, which even then were very scarce. So to see what was happening in Florida, you'd have to live in Florida to catch a local
Interesting.
TV, you know. So anyway, they go work in Alabama, and they work for Louis Tillett first, and they're making okay money, $175 a week. For that time was pretty decent. But then Jerry Jarrett comes in, and he says, "Hey," and Jerry Jarrett was he owned Continental Wrestling at the time, and that's Jeff Jarrett's dad. Um, and he says, "Hey, I'll give you guys $800 a week." So they're like, "Fuck, let's go." So they'll go work for Jerry Jarrett. Well, they travel the area. They travel to Memphis, the Tennessee to Alabama area. That's their territory. And Terry Terry Boulder, is on a local talk show in the Memphis area. And the same guy, the same show, he's sitting next to Lou Ferrigno, who
The
played the
Hulk.
Incredible Hulk on the TV show.
Yeah, I know Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah. So, Jerry Jarrett's backstage, and so is his wife Mary, and she's commenting on how much better Hulk looks than Lou Ferrigno, and how much bigger he looks, and all that. And so that's where that's when they start calling him Hulk. And
Damn, I had no
so then,
idea.
yeah, so then the Terry the Hulk Boulder is something that they were referencing to him to, and that worked fine on the independents. Nobody gave a shit about trademarks, copyrights, lawsuits, all that good stuff. But then he went to GCW, Georgia Championship Wrestling, and uh, what's his name? Bennett. I forget his name. But the promoter there, they called him Sterling Golden. Changed his name to Sterling Golden. That didn't last too long.
Yeah.
he was done with them.
I can see why.
Yeah. But anyway, he won his first title December '79.
Okay.
And that was a Southeastern Heavyweight Championship, and so that was defended in the Alabama and Tennessee areas. That was the only place he could defend that title, because that was that territory. Now, if he went to wrestle somewhere else, he couldn't take that belt with him, and he wasn't that champion.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though it was a heavyweight championship, it was never considered a world championship. So anyway, he dropped that belt in 1980. And this is where he starts really traveling around. He starts going to New Japan, right? He starts
Oh,
going to, he becomes the first IWGP champion.
I had no idea he even wrestled for Japan.
Oh, he was huge in Japan. He was like, what was it they called him? Ichiban, which means number one. So that's what the fans call him. He was a giant over there.
That's crazy.
And Inoki loved him, which is why they gave him the IWGP Championship. And he went back and forth a lot. And during this period, he wrestled Andre the Giant. So in '79, he was introduced to Vince McMahon Sr. by Terry Funk, and Vince Sr. loved him.
Mm-hmm.
So get the look, got all that stuff. Let's bring you in. He was a major heel, and Freddie Blassie was his manager. And he had a big angle against Andre the Giant, who was a huge babyface. And this is still before WWF went national, right? They were still at this point, I think, WWF. I could be wrong.
Which stood for
Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Oh, okay.
Right. So they had this big match at Shea Stadium. It was the showdown at Shea Stadium, which is the old home for the New York Mets, a mecca for baseball in the Northeast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just as big as Yankee Stadium for the Yankees. But it was a big show there, the showdown at Shea Stadium, and that's actually the first time where Hogan slammed Andre.
Really?
So yeah, so
Not-
that's. But again, this is not on national television. This is
Yeah.
only in the local area, so only these people saw that, right? And, I mean, it
Wow.
was written about in magazines, but again, unless you get the magazine, there's no other way of knowing about this. No internet, no nothing.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. It's. I feel like it's very easy to take for granted how fast we get information nowadays. It's
Oh,
just like
absolutely.
how long would it have taken for us to find out that Hulk Hogan passed away if it wasn't for the internet?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
probably not too long, considering how big he actually
Big
was,
he was. Right.
but
I
still,
get your point.
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the things we know about that we would probably never know about,
Yeah.
you know, is just incredible. I mean, I wouldn't know about some lady in Tennessee cooking eggs on her grill, but I
Yeah.
do because of TikTok. So, you know,
Yeah.
thanks, Karen. But anyway, so then he's also working DiBiase at Madison Square Garden. That was his first match at Madison Square Garden. That was 79. And DiBiase was on his way out. And so Hogan beat him with a bear hug, if you can believe that. What a finisher.
Yeah, surprised it wasn't a leg drop.
Yeah. So, so he's back and forth between, New Japan. He's doing an angle with Andre in New Japan as well, which the Japanese love because these guys are just huge compared to them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he wins that IWGP title, loses it because he knows he's not going to be back because he knows what he's going to be doing with Vince. Vince has him locked in, and there's still some dates he lets him do, but the fact of the matter is Vince McMahon Jr. now has the company. He bought it from his dad. He bought up he's buying up all the talent, all the territories. He decides that he's going to choose his guy to lead the company. And story has it, it's either Dusty Rhodes or Terry Bollea.
Wow.
Right? Well, at this point, he's Hulk Hogan because he got the name Hulk Hogan from Vince Sr. when he first came into WWF in 79. And the reason he got the name, so Vince Sr. actually gave him the name Hogan. So now he was Hulk whatever. Now he's Hulk Hogan because Vince Sr. had Bruno Sammartino who appealed to the Italian audience. He had Ivan Putski who appealed to the Polish audience. Because again, this is territorial, and these are the groups of ethnicities up in the northeastern area in New York and Pennsylvania and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Who else are we missing? Well, the Irish, right? So he decides Hogan's a good Irish name. And it matches, right? It goes together. Hulk Hogan, 2 H's, right?
Alliteration.
So I love it.
Yeah, Bruce Banner,
Bruce Banner, there you go. Clark Kent, sounds the same.
Yeah.
C&K, but
Black Panther.
Yeah. Wonder Woman. Yeah. There you go. What else we got?
Yeah, we can go on. Peter Parker,
Oh,
yeah.
Very good. Man, what was that? Iron Man? What's his name?
Tony Stark. Yeah, whatever.
So, anyways, that's how he got Hulk Hogan. That's appeal to the Irish, and the story is, Vince Sr. wanted him to dye his hair red because he felt that all Irish people had red hair.
Okay. Yeah.
But
sounds right
Hogan,
for the time.
Sure. Right. Yeah. I mean, you had guys who were born in America of Asian descent coming out speaking in Chinese accents.
Yeah.
Guys who were born in Michigan coming out speaking as Russians because it was the Cold War and all that good stuff, and you had them with a Russian flag. They were as American as you, But Hogan, I guess the story goes that Hogan took the dye and said, "I won't be doing this," but okay. I flushed it all down the toilet and showed up with no. He's like, "My hair's falling out. There's no point." So
it's very true. Very true.
But anyway, go back to Vince Jr. now, and here we go with Hulk Hogan. He's going to come back in the fold. Last time the WWF audience saw him, he was a major heel. So they decide January 10th, I think it was, 1983, bring him back in to save Bob Backlund from an ass kicking because Bob Backlund was the most over babyface they had. And then Backlund says he forgives Hogan for the past because him and Hogan got into a big angle before he left to go to Japan and all that. And the AWA, he was in the AWA as well, but in between all this. And the AWA was ran by Vern Gagne. AWA was a big promotion. They were on ESPN.
Wow.
They had a great deal. And they had a lot of the wrestlers that you see from WWF, from WrestleMania 1 on through maybe 5 or 6. They were mainstays in WWE. Gene Okerlund, Bobby Heenan, Mr. Perfect, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. A lot of these guys spent time in AWA as well as other territories, but AWA was the one with the national TV deal. So Vince was poaching all these guys,
Mm-hmm.
with his vision and everything that he had going on. People were like, let's do it. So he was bringing all those guys in from AWA. So especially now when Hogan's in there, now the guys who worked with Hogan are like, well, if he's going there and he's the top dog and he's making all this money, we're going there too to make this money. So they did. They followed Hogan over. And, so he comes back. He saves Backlund from an ass kicking. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, he beats the Iron Sheik for the WWF title in Madison Square Garden. And Hulkamania is born.
Wow.
And that's the history of Terry Bollea to the incarnation of Hulkamania. And that's a crazy ride already, just there by itself. Because now they're still not national TV. They're still not, they might be national at that point, but they're still not an international brand. So Vince is putting everything into this, right? Vince is saying that you're going to carry us. He sees how big he is in the Northeast.
Yeah.
You're going to be big everywhere. You're going to be big everywhere. Because when he beat the Sheik for that title, man, that place went bananas. That was just, insane.
I mean, you said that it was that you heard that Vince had two options, and it was Dusty and Hogan. How different do you think things would have been if Dusty was in those shoes? Do you think WWE would still be the thing it is now, or?
I don't know if it'd be what it is now. I definitely think Dusty would have brought some success. Not the success that Hogan brought.
Yeah.
And Dusty was a good worker. He was over wherever he went, and he could draw. I just don't think his image would appeal to a broader international audience the way Hogan did.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
It would have been the same gimmick. It would have been the same, pro America, flag waving, all that good stuff. But I just don't think that Dusty would have had the success that Hogan. He had success, but not as successful as Hogan did.
Gotcha.
And that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah. In another universe.
Yeah.
Another universe.
And again, who knows? I mean, honestly, that's just an opinion. But like even Hogan's music, right? The Real American, that was used by, we had mentioned this before on the show, Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda as a tag team a year earlier. And then when Vince had this vision of we're going to be this American hero because we have everything going on with Russia right now and, everything that's happening around the world. So we'll take that music and give it to you. And
that's crazy.
Then we have the whole gamble on WrestleMania 1, right? Let's put all our eggs in one basket and roll the dice. And you team up Hogan with Mr. T, the biggest TV star at the time, because the A-Team was hot. It was the hottest show on TV in the world.
It's a good show.
That was a great show. I mean, my mother used to call me in and say, "Let's go. It's on right now." That and chips, that's all I cared about. So it was Hogan and T against Orndorff and Piper, right? And that was WrestleMania 1. And we had other celebrities, Muhammad Ali, we had Cyndi Lauper. I mean, this was loaded with celebrities. And Vince had this vision of, being sports entertainment, taking it out of the wrestling bingo halls, the smoky arenas and all that. Let's clean it up. Let's polish it. Let's make it look more sellable and watchable for the national and international audience. And he hit a home run. And again,
that's crazy.
Vince would have made this happen no matter what, would have had the same success. I don't know. It might have. But at the end of the day, it was Hogan that was in that position, and he got it over. And he made it happen. And he was the American hero. But you look at it, I mean, I don't know. As a kid, I was never a Hogan fan. My sisters were, but I was never a Hogan fan. I didn't really have a favorite wrestler until the Warrior came along. And then I was like, oh, fuck, that guy right there, because he's just like me. He was a spastic running around, ADHD, and so I could identify with him.
Yeah.
And he talked and he made no sense. Absolutely like me. So
yeah,
he was my guy. Thanks. But then you have WrestleMania 2 where Hogan's against Bundy, right? A big program right there. Then before WrestleMania 3, when Hogan first won the belt, Andre the Giant was there to celebrate with him, and he was his buddy all the way up until before WrestleMania 3, and he turned on him and went with Bobby Heenan, and that was a big for everybody that had not seen anything in the Northeast. This was like a holy shit moment, right? So they had never seen the program before. He went to Japan. They didn't see any of the program in Japan. This has already been done, but nobody's seen it.
Yeah.
So here we go with Hogan and Andre. And unfortunately, Andre, even at this point, wasn't in the best physical health, So you weren't going to get the best match out of Andre. But Hogan pulled it off, helped him, and he worked with Hogan as much as he could. And of course, the big slam, which everybody goes nuts about. What's the biggest moment in WrestleMania history? A lot of people will say Hogan slamming Andre for the first time. It wasn't the first time,
Yeah.
But it was the first time the world got to see it, and it was a big deal. I mean, for anybody else around the world, it was definitely a big deal. So Hogan beats Andre. WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 4. They go against each other again in the championship tournament, because on Saturday night's main event, not too long before, they did the whole switching the referee thing and fast counting Hogan even though he held his shoulder up, and then Andre sells the belt to Ted DiBiase, and Ted DiBiase is now the champ. And Jack Tunney strips DiBiase of the belt and decides WrestleMania we're going to have a tournament. So anyway, in one of the rounds it's Hogan and Andre that goes to a double count out or double DQ. I forget what double count out. And the finals is DiBiase and Randy Savage. And again, DiBiase trying to cheat, trying to get that belt again, but here comes Hogan to save Savage, and he helps, gives a chair shot to DiBiase. Ref doesn't see it. Savage goes up, does the elbow. New champ, Randy Savage. Mega Powers are born, right? The Mega Powers, greatest team in the history of wrestling, in my opinion. I love this whole angle for this whole year, and I love when Vince would do this shit. Like, we're starting now to work. We're starting at WrestleMania 4 to work the main event for WrestleMania 5 a whole year from now. So Hogan's in Savage's corner. The whole starts, being handsy with Miss Elizabeth, but I am just,
He's got anxiety.
Yeah, so, but Savage gets jealous, all this whole thing, and then eventually it blows up on the Saturday night's main event, which, again, was kind of poorly done backstage. The whole thing where they went against, who was it they went against? Bossman and Akeem, or One Man Gang? I forget who it was. But it was a tag match, and Savage comes out of the ring and lands on Elizabeth, I think it was.
Uh-oh.
It's been so long. And so Hogan goes to 10 to Elizabeth, and Savage gets back in the ring, and he's getting his ass whipped, and Hogan picks up Elizabeth and takes her back to get looked after. And Savage finally gets the upper hand, looks around, is like, where are these guys gone? And he's not liking that at all. He's got that jealous streak in him, right? So he loses that match, comes backstage, cameras are there, and this is a big deal for back then because you didn't really see much backstage like this back at this time, right? So he confronts Hogan. Elizabeth's on the bed, on the gurney, getting, supposed to be getting looked after. And unfortunately, Hogan wasn't ready because he's like, "You're going to count me in?" And they're live, right? This is a Saturday Night's Main Event live. And Savage is there, and he's like, "Are you guys going to count me in?" And it's like, "We're fucking live, dude. Let's go." So he's like, "Oh shit!" So him and Savage get into it, and they brawl, and Savage beats the shit out of him, and that leads to the Mega Powers explode. WrestleMania 5, and we all know Hogan goes over and beats Savage for the belt. Um, and then we go all the way to WrestleMania 6, and that's when Warrior is Intercontinental Champion, faces against Hogan. This is where Hogan drops the belt to Warrior, one of the most iconic matches in WrestleMania history at this point, for sure. And this was in Toronto, Canada. And this was huge for the Warrior. They're supposed to take off like a rocket ship here, but it didn't really work out. So he drops the belt to Slaughter at the Royal Rumble because Savage comes out and attacks Warrior with the scepter. One of my favorite Royal Rumbles ever.
Okay.
Sergeant Slaughter wins the belt. Hogan wins the Royal Rumble. So now it's going to be Slaughter and Hogan at WrestleMania, and then it's going to be Warrior and Savage in a retirement match at WrestleMania 6 or 7. So then Hogan beats Slaughter at 7 in LA at the Sports Arena for another championship. Then he goes away. God. And then he comes back at 8 to face Sid.
Psycho Sid.
Yeah, another guy we lost last year, I think, right? Or earlier this year. So Sid had turned on Hogan at I think it was Tuesday in Texas, which another great TV show that they brought out. And that was a whole. If you have a chance, go watch the Tuesday in Texas special. Such a great show. I loved Sid's turn on Hogan. This was such a cool turn. And again, not being a Hogan fan, I loved it. But this Mania was shaping up to not be such a great Mania, and it was WrestleMania 8 is probably one of the worst WrestleManias ever, in my opinion.
That's an episode idea. I mean, I feel like everything we've watched has been pretty good.
Yeah, I'd love to do it and rip that apart.
Yeah, watch something that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just the storylines. It's like it's kind of like this SummerSlam. It's like,
Yeah.
But so then he goes away again, and he's doing movies and stuff like that, and TV shows and everything else. And he comes back early '93 for WrestleMania 9, and he's with Jimmy Hart now. Jimmy Hart's his manager. The guy who's been a heel manager forever is now with Hulk Hogan, with no explanation really that I recall. And it's going to be him and Beefcake against Money Inc. For the tag titles, Ted DiBiase and IRS. So Beefcake has a mask on because he got destroyed in a parasailing accident.
Oh.
Yeah, so he took someone's knee, I don't know whose knee it was, to his face going 80 miles an hour. Shattered his whole face.
Yeah.
And everything inside here is all metal and screws.
Became RoboCop.
So yeah. So the whole thing was, don't hit his face, leave him alone. It was done. It was so poorly acted out because Hogan was not the best actor, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, not just in the movies.
He's good at hyping up the crowd, but
great at hyping up the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, so he even said himself that he got a lot of what he did from both Superstar Billy Graham and Austin Idol. And if you look at Austin Idol, he sells very much like Austin Idol.
Okay.
So you have to go back to the 70s and 80s to really see some good Austin Idol matches. And he very much sells like Austin Idol, and that's where he got a lot of his mannerisms from and stuff like that. But he took it nationally. He made it into something else, Yeah. But a lot of these wrestlers, they get it, especially today. They get a lot of their stuff from previous generations.
I feel like at this point, it's too hard. It's like very hard to be original.
Oh yeah,
because
very tough.
Everything's been seen at this point. Like, what else can you do?
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, you got to be really creative. So then he drops the belt to Yokozuna.
Ooh.
And he's gone. He leaves and he shows up in WCW, which was a big shocker to a lot of people, but it was potentially bound to happen, So got a big contract, millions of dollars. First guy to ever really get some big money like that in wrestling. And, We all know that some of the storylines that he was involved with there are hokey and just, WCW creative was not very good until they brought in Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And then you had the whole third man who's going to be, and here comes Hulk Hogan out to save the day, but he turns on Savage, and he is a heel for the first time in many years. And for honestly, the first time ever for a lot of those people that have never seen anything before WrestleMania 1 or before they went national and international. So in their minds, this is the first time Hogan's ever been a heel, period.
Yeah.
So then we did a whole
It's
NWO
crazy.
stuff, and that's Hogan again revived WCW because it was not doing well financially. I mean, they were with Scott Hall coming in and Kevin Nash coming in. They started to make some noise and all that, and it was getting really interesting. And they were winning some of the ratings, but they still weren't that company. They still weren't up the top. But when they brought Hogan in as a heel, man, that's when they started beating WWE. And they went 83 straight weeks winning the ratings and making hundreds of millions of dollars. And they really did their thing. But due to Time Warner and all those guys putting restraints on or constraints on the creative and what they had been doing, storylines were getting weaker and talent was leaving to go back to WWE, and it just started falling apart. The wheels fell off, and Hogan left before it got sold to WWE. Then Hogan shows back up in 2002 for WrestleMania 18. And in my opinion, this is probably his best match of his entire career.
Really?
In my opinion, with The Rock. Absolutely. I mean, the crowd, he's got the biggest pop he ever got, in my opinion. Maybe
you got Hulk Hogan and The Rock in one match. I mean, that's insane.
Absolutely. Incredible. And such an amazing match, in my opinion. And he comes and goes with WWE. But here's the thing. In 2002, he wins the WWE title. Now, WWE goes off the air of SmackDown. WWF goes off the air of SmackDown for the very last time. And Hogan's the champ. So he's the very last WWF champion. The next show, they are now WWE. So now he's the very last WWF champion, and he's the very first WWE champion.
Wow.
And I think that was important because of the respect that Vince had for Hogan and for what he meant to the company and to the industry.
Yeah.
Being first legit national and international champion for the company, who took them to, great heights. And this is a way to reward Hogan. And I thought it was cleverly done. And, big respect for Hogan on that from Vince. But, then he had his match with Shawn Michaels, as we know. Was that a SummerSlam? That was SummerSlam, I believe. And that was, whatever it was, Shawn overselling for Hogan and everything. It was a funny match to watch. If you've never watched it, go back and watch it and see how Shawn just over everything.
I've never seen it, or maybe I have. I just don't remember.
Yeah, you'd remember, because the story goes that Shawn was overselling because Hogan didn't. And that's one of the raps that Hogan got throughout this industry, is being difficult to work with. But when you look at Hogan, Hulk Hogan's a brand. Hulkamania is a brand. And he fought hard to get the rights to that name, and he wanted to protect that at all costs, Many wrestlers do the same thing. It's just he got more shit for it because he was the top guy. And a lot of guys saw that as, well, you're holding me down, and I should be a champion as well, because everybody wants to be a champion.
Yeah.
Nobody has the mindset of a Ron Killings or a Chelsea Green, where it's like, I don't have to be a champion. I'm here to entertain, and as long as I can entertain, I've got a job. Whether I win or lose, I'm still getting paid the same. So what does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in the day, it was a little different, obviously, when you got paid if you're going over, if you're the main event. But everybody wanted to work on a show that Hogan was on, because if Hogan's on the show, the place is going to sell out, which means you make more money. Because it wasn't back then. It wasn't contracts. It wasn't guaranteed money like it is now. So, you know, a lot of people gave Hogan shit, but you talk to some of the boys who really worked with Hogan, and they're thankful to Hogan because they can afford a lifestyle that they would have never had if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan.
That's great. Yeah.
And they never even wrestled him. They were just on the same show as him, and that's why Eric Bischoff on his podcast and his thing was thanks for the house, because that's what they used to say. Thanks for bringing people into the house for all the money that we made that night. So thanks for the house because you're the main event. And Jake Roberts will tell the story about how he was supposed to go against Hogan for the championship, and they did an angle one night where he was out in the ring and they were cheering for Jake and not for Hogan, and Hogan even got some booze, and then Hogan told Vince that this wasn't going to work for me, brother, and Vince said, "Sorry, we got to cancel this program."
Wow.
Now, whether it was Hogan that said that or whether it was Vince protecting his interests as well, I don't know. But at the end of the day, it was the right decision.
Yeah.
Because back then it was very different than it is now. So if you had your main guy getting booed and the heel getting pops, well, that's going to affect the income because, again, it's not guaranteed money, right? So if you have less people coming to see Hogan then, who's your main attraction, then the house revenue is going to be down, and that's going to hurt the company. So they did the right thing, and we move forward to TNA. He was a mainstay in TNA. He helped book a lot of shows there and worked with Dixie Carter and then did some other shows in Australia and tours in Australia and all that good stuff, and then came back to WWE and brought out his beer and all that. But of course, the big thing that really hurt his career and everything else was a videotape being released where he's banging his buddy's wife, but at the same time his buddy was all for it, so that wasn't the bad part. The bad part was he made some racial slurs, right? And
During the video?
not while he was in the act.
Oh, I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that would have been something weird, but
Yeah.
no. To the same lady, I guess. But anyway, it was recorded, and then his buddy released it, or sold it, or did whatever, and it got released, and it wasn't good. A lot of people will say, he could have apologized. He did apologize. He did come out and apologize right away.
Nobody cares.
And
Nobody cares that he apologized.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? He
Yeah.
apologized once, that was it.
Yeah.
He did give a speech. WWE fired him right away, and he lost a bunch of deals with Mattel and other things that he was doing with sponsorships.
Yeah, that word will do it.
And understandably so. I mean, I get
Yeah.
it, right? I mean, yeah, there's no place for it, right? So he did have a conversation with people backstage at WWE when he came back the next time. Didn't apologize to anybody. I don't think he really. And again, you can judge me or say whatever you want. I don't know if he owed anybody there an apology. He already apologized once, but you're either going to believe him or you're not. So if you need him to apologize directly to you, I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of you being a narcissist, right? So he apologized to the world already. Still not okay, what he said. And he still needs to be held accountable for that. Absolutely. But at the same time, that's something that needs to be, if this company's giving him another shot, let him do his thing. That's their business.
Yeah.
Just know that's how he thinks, and you either associate with him or you don't. I mean, well, you can't change a person unless they want to change. Now, he was a born again Christian, all that stuff. Maybe he changed, but the thing is, you ask Booker T, Stevie Ray, Mark Henry, Virgil, Kamala. I know Junkyard Dog before he passed. They got along really good, from my understanding. There's 6 black wrestlers that he helped along the way to get to where they were. So, I mean, if he's a racist, which he could have been, he was a very bad one. I think I just think he ran his mouth, maybe thinking he was cool or big. I don't know what he was thinking. But it was a stupid thing to say, and
Yeah,
he paid the
100%.
price for it financially for sure. But it is what it is. There's something that we can do about it.
Yeah.
But I'm more willing to talk to people and listen to the people who knew him, such as Booker T, Stevie Ray, Virgil, Kamala, Junkyard Dog, Mark Henry, guys who interacted with him, and he didn't treat them like anybody else.
Well, it's because
Differently.
they're getting paid to say all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. I'm sure somebody has
Mark Henry.
some
Hey, look,
bullshit.
I've worked with Booker T. I've worked with Mark Henry. Um, I worked with Kamala, but he's passed. I worked, and that's it. But I know for a fact Mark Henry does not bullshit anybody, and you can listen to any interview with Mark Henry, and he will not. You want me to say what? That's not what I believe. Fuck you.
I mean, look at him. I mean, he has the right to say, nobody's gonna be like, okay, nobody's gonna disagree. Be like, all right, fine, you say what you want.
So I tell you, if he ever felt for 1 second that he was anywhere racist towards him or anybody else, or if he ever saw it or felt it or sensed it, he'd come out and say it absolutely. And that's again, I was never a Hulk Hogan fan, right? I enjoyed watching him. I was like, okay, Hogan's on. I mean, I watched all the shows as a kid because Hogan was on it,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed when he came back and he was that baby face who was, vulnerable when the earthquake squashed him, and they did that whole video because it thought he was going to retire because the ribs were so bad, and it was such a well done thing, and it was cool to see, and I got into arguments with friends at school for WrestleMania 6 because they were all Hogan fans and I was a Warrior fan. I was gonna get my ass kicked because of that.
That's insane.
Um, oh, yeah. So, um, you know, I, so don't expect me to be one who's just going to protect him or stand up for him just because he passed away. You know, I see it as, death is a part of life.
Hmm.
And if I feel about somebody a certain way before they pass, I'm not going to change just because they passed away. I don't play that game. I don't do that bullshit. I think, if you deserve to say what's about you. And that's what some of these podcasts, man, I've seen. It's like some of these guys that ripped on Hogan, especially over the last year with his beer and his new venture that he was doing with the amateur wrestling with Eric Bischoff. Um, Now because he's passed, oh well, we were just joking about all that stuff, and we really care. Shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
that's just the worst kind of people right there.
Yep.
Um, but and I'll go back to something I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and then we can move on from this and go on to some current stuff. But when I was at WWE and we were in a meeting, and this was after the buyout of WCW, and we were talking about maybe some guys coming in after Mania who hadn't been in yet. They were sitting at home getting paid still on their contracts because they didn't want to give that up because they'd make more money sitting at home than they would contract at the time.
Hmm.
So Hogan's name came up, and not that anybody was bashing him as a person, or it was like, well, no, we really want that right as far as because you bring in Hogan, he's gonna. This is how he's got to protect his image. He's got to protect. He's the number one wrestler in the world ever.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I get it, right? So it was talked about, and then I had said something, um, and Big Show was right there, and I didn't say anything bad about Hogan. I was just repeating kind of like what we discussed without giving away anything from the meeting itself. Um, and Big Show goes, "Have you ever met Hulk?" And I'm like, "No, no, I'm just talking like how somebody said that he could be difficult to come in, and I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying, because here's Big Show, and
Yeah.
he's like, well, just so you know, he's a great guy. I'm like, okay. I don't doubt it. But you could tell right there and then that Big Show was very much appreciative of what Hulk had done for his career in WCW. Um, and Big Show got to where he was because of Hulk Hogan. He Hulk Hogan made him look like a star in WCW, like the second coming of Andre the Giant, which is what they try to bill him as, which was when he just became the Giant, and Hogan made him look like $1 million. So, um, and that was the closest I ever got to ever anything with Hogan, but uh, it's unfortunate that he passed. I mean, a lot went on in his life, good, bad, and ugly, you know, uh, with his kids as well, and all
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot of people will bring that kind of shit up when they're talking about like celebrities or whatever, but it's like, man, that's their personal life.
Absolutely.
Why you gotta cast judgment on somebody that you don't
Right.
even know, and it's about their personal life. Like, know your place, know, and
Yeah, and
it,
and half these people talking. I mean, their personal lives aren't fucking gemstones either.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
I try not to ever talk shit on these people that I've worked with, especially, because you know I'm not perfect. I've made my mistakes, and but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and bash someone, and then if they pass, oh well, great person.
yeah,
I know I
yeah.
said he's an asshole 2 weeks ago, but my bad.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
It's crazy to see, uh, two different sides of the coin. When Hogan passed, you have people who are still hung up on him saying that slur, and I feel like it's just because they're on one side of the spectrum in terms of politics, and I feel like it's with Hogan especially, you have to hold him, to a higher standard just because of how big he was, and that's why, like, I feel like it was such a huge moment for that to come out and be like, dude, what is this dude like? He's supposed to be this American hero, like he's our American hero, and he's over here saying that nasty word. It's just kind of like it's very easy to put somebody down like that because it's just all it takes is that one thing, and boom, everything about Hogan is just dropping. Financially, he's not doing too well just because of that one word, because of how you know uh, much of a higher standard he's being viewed as, which is
yeah,
crazy. But yeah, like
yeah,
it's I don't know. I feel like it's ridiculous for people to just still hang on to that one incident, that happened. I don't know when did that
yeah.
happen?
Well, I don't know, man. I think it was like 2014, maybe, maybe.
Okay,
I have no idea. I just know when it got released, it had happened about 7 years earlier.
okay,
So it wasn't even like somebody held on. So his
yeah,
buddy Bubba the Love Sponge held on to that for 7 years. I think you ever fuck me over or piss me off, So he had intentions, in my opinion.
yeah,
And if you're sharing your wife with your buddy, I mean, that tells me the type of person you are anyway. So, whatever. I mean, that
agreed.
different strokes for different folks. That's your into, that's your thing. But
That just means you
it
don't
also,
have, in my opinion, integrity, a sense of integrity.
yeah, yeah. So he can't be loyal to his wife. He can't be loyal. So,
Yeah,
in my opinion. So that was that. But hey, Hogan ended up suing Gawker, who put all this stuff out, and he ended up getting millions from them, and Gawker had to shut down. And I think he got all the rights to Gawker, which was like a TMZ kind of website, but they did shit that was just not cool. Um, so Hogan ended up winning in the end, as far as financially and getting kind of revenge, but the damage was done,
yeah, yeah.
and
And I feel like all these people, I've seen videos of people, being happy that Hogan's dead, or like all like, and it's just like you realize that you're championing uh other celebrities or other people that are, in the modern day that have probably done worse than what you're shaming Hogan of doing,
Yeah.
and not saying that what he did wasn't good, or
Right.
because it wasn't bad, or sorry, it wasn't a good thing that he did. It wasn't a good thing that he did. Sorry, getting tongue-tied here, but yeah, it's just like I don't know. I just feel so indifferent to those kinds of people of like you're bashing a dead man for what, you know,
Yeah.
like it's ridiculous in my opinion. But
Like if Hogan had to kill somebody, I'm like, okay,
yeah, that's
you know,
another thing too. You see all these memes of Chris Benoit and all this stuff, but you don't see really memes of Hulk Hogan, and it's just like, like at least make fun of the thing, that you're shaming Hogan for. I feel like there's some memes in there that you can make about Hogan.
oh sure, I'm sure there's plenty out there.
Yeah, but I
But
don't feel like it's more popular than, um like a meme where it's like, oh, you come home and your wife hasn't cooked dinner, and then it's like the Chris Benoit entrance music hits or something, like there's nothing like that. Yeah.
I've not seen that.
I kind of just
Let me
made
tell
that
you
up,
something.
but like
I
I'd seen
wo-
something
oh
similar.
Jesus, you just made that up? Jesus. I worked with Chris, and Chris was super nice, very quiet, and very approachable, easy to talk to. But fuck that guy.
No, yeah, 100%.
And see, that's the thing with me. Is like I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
But what you did was fucking wrong.
yeah,
And if it was CTE, whatever, I don't give a shit. You know.
yeah,
So
100%.
you know, OJ Simpson, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
You know, glad he fucking died. Don't care. So I'm not one of those guys. Oh, they passed. Oh, it's sad. Depends who it is. Depends what they did.
yeah,
Again, for me, like I said, death is a part of life.
it is.
And I experienced so much death in a short period of time that I think I became more, I don't know if it's numb or understanding of death in my head, in my beliefs. So when people die, for me, it's kind of like, okay.
For me,
And
it's like lucky them, man.
we move on. Yeah. We move on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that's another episode. Who knows?
Yeah, talk about death. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to.
Okay,
I, I
all right.
I think there's a whole thing that when we die, I think I don't want to
Interesting.
get into.
Interesting. That'd be an interesting episode to do.
Let's stick to wrestling for
We'll have
now
to do it
though.
on
I don't wanna
Cinco
get
de Mayo or something, or whatever.
Halloween or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's
Or not Cinco de Mayo. I was thinking I always get Cinco de Mayo and Dia Los Muertos, or I don't know, gringo
sure.
trying to
Bless you.
pronounce Spanish things. But anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that we've covered Hogan pretty extensively.
Yeah, I think so. In a way that we didn't know him, and we just wanted to, for those who weren't familiar with him and his career, just an overview of
Yeah,
what he meant to this business and what he meant to the industry. And again, even though I wasn't a fan of him, so thankful for him to have been who he was.
yeah,
And it's just amazing that had he decided to not quit USF over his band, because that happened. He made a decision that the gigs that I'm getting now for band, I can't do all the college work, so I'm going to quit college. But what if he had to not quit the band and stayed at USF, and the Briscoe brothers came in and never saw him?
yeah,
We may have never had a Hulk Hogan. So it's just crazy how life works out. Thankful that he was a part of my childhood,
yeah.
and part of the wrestling industry, and that he gave us the years and years of entertainment that he did. And rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, he really was a part of my childhood, but it's not to say that his influence wasn't there,
Sure.
with, divided amongst the roster of WWE that I grew up with. But, yeah, rest in peace, rest in peace. But yeah, so that's Hogan.
Yeah.
Another thing that
Talk.
happened that week, aside from Ozzy Osbourne dying as well, he was another person that passed away. But a rock legend. Uh, I don't. He's not a wrestler. We don't. So rest in peace, Ozzy. But we also got a house announcement for HHN. I talked about it a while ago because I'm very obsessed with Halloween Horror Nights. I love walking through those mazes, getting scared by the scare actors and such. And I'm very, very close, with the speculation side of HHN. I love right after HHN is over, everybody starts speculating. What's going to be the houses for 2026? And what's going to be the house for 2027? And that's probably my favorite thing about HHN is just a collective of people trying to figure out, what's coming this year. And it was heavily speculated that WWE was going to have a house at HHN. When I talk about HHN, I'm mainly talking about Hollywood because that's the coast we're on. And for where the location is at for the house, they have this little tiki hut. So a lot of people were like, "Well, tiki hut, what does that have to do with WWE?" A lot of people were thinking, it's not going to be WWE until the video game 2K20 something. That they came out with a DLC called The Island, and I don't know if it's already out. I'm not too familiar with the 2K games. I've tried one of them, and they're awful in my opinion. I can't play them. But this DLC, it was heavily based on this tiki, like Hawaiian kind of style, but the first group that was part of this DLC was going to be the Wyatt Six, because what pairs well with the Wyatt Six other than tiki Hawaii themed bullshit. So that's when the WWE rumors came back of like, oh, WWE is coming because of this video game DLC that WWE's releasing for their game. And then it gets announced alongside with Five Nights at Freddy's. So I feel like because Five Nights at Freddy's got announced, the Wyatt Six house kind of got tucked under the rug, and nobody's really talking about it as much as they should be. But in all honesty, this is Halloween Horror Nights. I feel like a lot of Halloween Horror Nights goers will probably skip this house. It'll probably be on the lowest of the low of like, all right, we got to do this. It's not going to be on the top of their to-do list. But with that being said, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be great. I feel like it is. You have so much creative control for that, because you don't have to stay. Make sure you're doing staying in lines of the movie that you're representing for this house, like Five Nights at Freddy's, Terrifier, Poltergeist, all these other houses that have been announced and speculated. But with this house, and I hope in some way, shape, or form you're able to go through this house this year, because it'll be your first Halloween Horror Nights that you go to, and we'll try to make it happen. But I'm very curious of how they're gonna interpret the Wyatt Six into a haunted house. I mean,
I asked you think they'll have people dressed up as the Wyatt Six characters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's gonna be because my dad here never been to Halloween Horror Nights. The only thing he knows about it is when I talk about it. And so yeah, they're gonna have people.
Often, by the way.
What's up?
Which is quite often.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's a great event. And the fact that they're having a WWE house is crazy to me. I would have never imagined it. They did have one. I don't know what year it was, but all the way back like to the 2010s, and Undertaker was like the main focus of that house or whatever, and stuff like that. I think that was the first time that they came to HHN, and thankfully not the last. But but yeah, in terms of walking through houses, knowing some horror stories of from performers and such like that, I can only imagine how rowdy this house is going to be. You have people at this event always drunk off their ass, drunk, high, whatever you want to call it. Like that's just the it goes hand in hand with this event, and you're gonna have them going through a house where it's based off wrestling. I don't know. I think there's gonna be a lot of HR cases over there. Uh, um, and yeah, so I'm excited for it. I mean, what do you think in terms of what of Horror Nights, or just in terms of your general thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think they're TKO probably got this back in action, and it makes sense with the Wyatt Six, as you said. They are kind of like that mysterious, creepy kind of characters, just like the Undertaker was back in the day. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it'll be pretty cool for if you're a younger wrestling fan, to go, and if you enjoy Universal Horror Nights as it is, add this to it. I mean,
Yeah,
it should be fun, right? And I
yeah.
think I'll probably go. I'll take I think your little brother as well, and we'll try and
Oh,
get up there.
he's not gonna be able to go through there. He won't go. I bet you anything. I listen. First
If
time
he's
I
with me,
went.
he'll go.
What, he wants to go?
If he's with me, he'll go.
But see, that's the thing. First time I went to Horror Nights, I could have barely walked through that. I was terrified. And first year I went was 2021, so I was 21 years old at the time. I could barely stomach walking through. Before I like you look at the facade of the maze, and my blood pressure, I could just feel it rising. And I'm just like, man, like it's that feeling you get before going on a roller coaster or something. And but it's heightened because you're like, dude, I don't. I'm going in there. There's gonna be people popping out of me. I'm not gonna be able to see in here. Like your senses are thrown askew once you go into those mazes. And um, I know that
Well, we'll see.
they
We'll
have
see.
other stuff out there, not Universal related, like the 17th door, where you go in and you have to sign a waiver and all that shit. I'm like, that's a little too much for me, because you sign a waiver because they like tase you, and like they do all this other like crazy stuff, from what I've heard.
I've been tased before. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I I would like to avoid it. But yeah,
Uh,
I just wanted to kind of briefly talk about that. Maybe we'll do a video of us there or something. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out.
Absolutely. We got to maybe broadcast from there. Maybe do a live feed or
Yeah.
something on the channel, and either way, we'll definitely go and make a show out of it. And
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out something. But
yeah,
because I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But but yeah,
I like
so
it. We got a
uh,
few months, so we're good.
we have a month,
Oh,
almost a month. September 4th
okay.
is day
Just over
one
a month.
of HHN.
Well, I mean, just as important as that, football's back tonight. Just so you know. I mean,
Yeah,
it
so we're
was
gonna
the
go to the SummerSlam predictions. I don't watch football. I don't watch football. Um,
yeah. It was the Hall of Fame Bowl, and so I didn't really watch much of it. I watched a little bit, but it's a lot of second string guys in there and stuff like that. So it's not really a great game, but it's a first game of football back since February. So it's like, give me something.
there you go.
So
Yeah.
so anyway, Chargers won 34-7 over the Lions. Nobody gives a shit.
Okay. Well,
So anyway,
Charger fans
let's
do.
yeah, well, they can hang on to that because that's as good as it's gonna get for them all season. So
Yeah.
um anyway, yeah, let's go to SummerSlam, 2 night
Yeah.
event. Let's go through night one
Yeah.
and give our predictions.
So usually week by week basis, we like to talk about Raw, SmackDown, things like that. But when we took the week off, we told each other, not much has happened on Raw. On Raw, I only watch Raw, so I don't know what goes on SmackDown. But like, not much has happened on Raw. So what are we going to talk about? And so we're just like, you know what, we'll do Hogan, and we'll do predictions for SummerSlam. So here we are. I mean, is there anything happening on SmackDown that we should know, or that
You
I should
know,
know?
I didn't. I don't think well, I did catch SmackDown actually because they did the tribute for Hulk, and I watched that. And being that it was the day after, it was nice and very emotional. And uh, don't remember much else from that show, to be honest with you. And then Raw was Raw. I mean, honestly, this week has been a blur. It's just when we talk about the matches for SummerSlam, I think I cap a few simple things, but
Okay.
I'm not super impressed by this card, so we'll go that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just start it off here. The first match. I don't know if this is just what I have right here. I'm gonna
Night
start from
one,
the
yeah.
bottom up. I'm on the
Sure.
WWE website here. The what is it? I don't the six tandems collide in an epic WWE Tag Team Title six-pack TLC match. So it's just a 6 versus 6 or a six-way tag team TLC match. Gotcha. Okay. I
Well,
I don't know any
that's
of
night
these
two.
wrestlers.
That's night two. Let's do this. Let's go
Oh,
night
oh,
one.
I didn't know there was. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. My
So night one. Do you want me to go through matches?
Yeah, I have them on my side. Yeah, it's just it's not in order of what night there are on the
Yeah.
WWE
Yeah.
website. So my bad.
So it's all good. So, well, night one, Tiffany Stratton will defend her women's championship against Jade Cargill. So I think they're gonna give it to Jade.
I hope not. She already got Queen of the Ring. You know,
Yeah,
I don't.
which they still haven't done much with it. It's kind of
No,
faded away real quick.
surprise, surprise. I mean, we
Yeah,
kind of called it, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think they'll go with Jade unless somebody comes out and screws her. But I don't. They built her up pretty good, and it would be surprising if she didn't win this.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is maybe like Naomi coming out or something, messing with it. I don't know.
But she doesn't need to because she's the champ now, so on
Yeah,
SmackDown.
but she's a heel. She doesn't want to see Cargill the champ. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, very well could be. Very
Yeah,
well could be.
I mean, I hope Tiffany wins. I I really like Tiffany Stratton. I think she's great, looks great, and
Yes.
you know, I don't want Jade to win. I don't think she's good. I think she needs a little more time to cook.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I just the way just a good feeling I have is they're gonna put
Yeah.
a strap on her and send her to the moon. Uh,
Well, hopefully
so
they accounted for the trip back.
yeah, see what happens. Then you got Randy Orton and Jelly Roll against McIntyre.
Randy
Logan Paul.
Orton and Jelly
Logan.
Roll. um,
Um, yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I don't really see the importance of this match other than to have Jelly Roll on the card, I guess.
yeah. And Jelly Roll's not going to come on here, and there'd be no point in bringing him on for that. So, I mean, I see Orton and Jelly Roll winning this match. I
Yeah,
think uh, I think they get the pin on Logan Paul, and
Jelly
you know,
Roll's got to get the pin.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Orton will give him an RKO, roll Jelly on top of him, and get the pin, and then maybe McIntyre turns on Logan Paul after that.
there you go.
Uh,
Yeah, have a McIntyre Paul feud. That'd be fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
yeah,
Logan
yeah.
Paul. I think he's such a good talker. He could be a great face. He could be a good guy to really propel. He'd sell merchandise. He's just a heel. He's got that heel face, that heel persona where you just want to smack him in the mouth.
I just think
Um,
that's his history.
yeah, sure.
He's got so much bad raps on him
Yeah,
outside of WWE that I feel like everybody just automatically hates him, even though he's a good performer in my opinion. I think he's phenomenal in the ring.
Yeah.
And
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
but
So I think we agree there that Orton and Roll go over.
yeah, that'll probably happen.
Then you got Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defending their titles against Charlotte and Alexa Bliss.
Ooh, I can't wait for this match.
Yeah,
You
really good.
know, my first introduction to Rodriguez would be her match against Rhea Ripley recently. Before then, I kind of never really paid attention. And seeing her in that match, I was just like, all right, let's see where she goes from here. And here we are. It's a tag team match. I'm gonna love it. It's
Yeah,
gonna be great.
yeah.
It's gonna be great.
You got the best, some of the best women wrestlers in there, and it's a tag match. I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I
I
think it's going to
think.
win though.
Oh, I mean, it depends on how long they want this Flair and Bliss thing to go on for. I mean, um, I don't know. I feel I want Raquel and Roxanne to win just because I'm a huge fan of Judgment Day right now, and you know,
Yeah.
the longer they have the belts, like I know that the longer they're gonna stay as a faction, and I really hope that they don't lose the belts, but I feel like they might.
I'm the same. I want them to keep them at the belts, and I think they will because, well, here's two trains of thought. Eh, Maybe Liv comes back and screws them
It's true.
because they're not the champs. Her and Raquel were, or they lose the belts and Liv comes back and blames it all on Roxanne because they lost the belts and that those were not her belts to lose. So if they do lose, Roxanne takes the fall and takes the blame. Um, but I don't know. I don't know when Liv's timetable is. They've kept that pretty quiet, which is great because I love surprises.
Yeah.
Um, and if she's gonna come back, she's gonna screw him. And you know, again, I'm with you on that. I don't know where they're going with Bliss. It's kind of a funky thing. If it's going to be long term, do they give them the belts on Saturday? Maybe they do. Don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're on SmackDown, Bliss and Flair, so I haven't really seen them as much. So I don't. This would be like my first time seeing them together. So yeah.
Then we got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
This,
I mean, when
yeah,
I saw this poster or promotion for it, sent it to you, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
yeah. That's the first time I saw it too because I hadn't seen it on. I hadn't watched the show. And oh yeah,
Yeah, I was
that's
like,
trash.
"This is." I hadn't watched it either. And I saw this. I was like, "This is
Yeah.
ridiculous." I mean, if you've been watching the show, you kind of know our feelings toward that we have towards Jey Uso, and it's. I just don't. I really wish it would have been Punk instead of Uso because they have like Punk and Reigns have that relationship with Paul Heyman, and to I don't know. I just feel like it works better, but you can't do that because Punk's going up against Gunther. So yeah, uh, but I don't know who you think's gonna win. Does it really matter who wins at this point?
Yeah, well, I think Reigns and Uso is going to win. They get the pinfall on Bronson Reed. I think Bronson Reed's going to be the fall guy in that group as
Okay.
long as he's in it. He's not the best. I mean, he's okay. I'm not trying to knock him. I just
I will. I don't like him.
I just don't think he's a good fit for this group. I've said it a million times already. Don't want to beat a dead horse, but I don't think he fits with that. But anyway, Reigns and Uso for the win
And
in
it's
that one.
coming from you. I think when at the beginning of this faction when Bronson first joined, you were like, okay, I'm not really a big fan of him, but now that he's part of a group, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do with him. And you've been let down, unfortunately.
Yes, I'm sad. I had high hopes. I was
Yeah,
trying to be optimistic, but
yeah,
hey, it's all good.
it is what it is.
Um, and then you got Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross.
Well, before we go, I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of story wise, where do you think they're gonna take um where the Empire from here?
Well, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay,
Because I haven't shared something with you that I think is going to happen. That just came into my messed up mind earlier today.
okay, all right.
I was sitting at my desk and I was like, "Oh,"
Yeah, Roman
but
Reigns' house burns down with his dog, and Matt Hardy comes back.
that was it.
You said messed up. I was like, how messed up can it be?
Yeah, not that it was messed up. It was my messed up mind because I'm supposed
Yeah,
to be doing some work and I'm in the middle of, for some reason, wrestling creeps in and I'm like, "Oh, I got to think about this for a second." My ADHD, dude.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is what it is.
It's understandable. Understandable.
Yeah, it's hard for
Um,
me to stay focused.
but
Well, I'll tell you about that in a second once we get
okay,
to the main event of night one.
okay.
So Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross.
Oh, oh, I would love Karrion Kross to win. I feel like at this point everybody would, um,
Absolutely.
because this whole like Sami Zayn thing that's going on, where he's just I'm just being Sami Zayn. Just got to keep going. Just got to do it. Just got to keep. It's just like you need. Just shut the fuck up, Sammy. Just get your ass beat. Maybe join a tag team with Karrion Kross and be like, you know what, Karrion's right. I'm gonna be on a tag team with him. Or I don't know, something like that would spice it up, because this whole thing, I feel like right now they're just doing all this because they don't really know what to do with Sammy at this point. Um, and
Yeah,
that's
it could be.
uh, but who knows? I mean, what would be very interesting is if they have Sammy kind of lead the Empire in replace of Seth Rollins, if he's going to be out for a while, because you had Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman on the Bloodline, and I feel like they could spin it to where the only reason he joined that Bloodline was because of Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman saw something in him or something, and I don't know, something like. I feel like it's a little too soon for that to happen within 2 nights, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah,
that's a
I'm with you. I think Karrion Kross needs to win this match. He's so over right now. I think that you'll, unless Sammy gets a lucky win and then Karrion beats the shit out of him after the bell. I don't know,
yeah,
but I think you protect Karrion right now because he's so over, and he could be the next big thing in WWE. And I think he needs to win this match more than Sammy does, in my
yes,
opinion.
I
Yeah,
agree. I agree. Um, yeah, yeah. I've been loving what they've been doing with Karrion Kross.
yeah, yeah.
So
He's great.
let's see more. Let's see
And,
more. Let's see where he goes from here on out. Um, but
and the last match of the night would be possibly this again. This is not the
well,
order specifically.
before. So who do you think is going to win, prediction wise? Who do you think is going to win?
Karrion Kross.
Okay, Karrion Kross. Okay, I want Karrion Kross to win, but I don't think he's going to win. I think Sami Zayn's going to win. So, setting in the
See that?
predictions. Setting in the
I like it.
predictions before we
I
move
like
on.
it.
Yeah,
Get in.
yeah.
All right, and then you have Gunther the champ against CM Punk.
Oh, this is night one, huh? Oh, yeah, because
Yeah,
they obviously got to save Cena and Cody for night
for the
two.
World Heavyweight Championship.
All right. Well, I don't think Punk's going to win this. I don't feel like he can. I don't think he can. He can win this. You know, I think it would be cool to see maybe Seth Rollins come out, even if he's still injured, you know, and make sure Punk does not win. He said, I will make sure that Punk does not hold a title, or I don't know if he said a specific title. I feel like he did now that I'm thinking about it, but I feel like that still doesn't mean that he won't mess with him getting any other title. But
Right, right. Well, I this is exactly what I was thinking as well. So I do believe that Rollins kind of jammed his leg, but I don't think it was as bad as they made it out to be because of the storyline situation.
hmm
I think Punk gets the win, but then Seth cashes in right away and beats Punk and screws him out of the championship right away.
that would be
Add,
crazy.
add him fuel to the fire for another, you know, another run with both of those guys, and now you got the title on the line. Now you got Punk chasing Seth for his title because he just won it, right? So I think Punk does win, but I think Seth Rollins comes out and out of nowhere and cashes in,
Interesting.
and the
Yeah,
Empire has a chance.
I mean, same thing with Liv Morgan. They've been kind of quiet about Seth Rollins and his injury, where we kind of don't know how long it's going to take. And I feel like if it was something serious, especially because it happened so recent, they would have come out and said something of like, yeah, he's going to be out for a while. Or, I feel like at this point, it wouldn't have felt like the Empire was dragging feet. Um, and because right now it just feels like there's really nothing going on with the Empire as much as they've been built up, but it's because you got that injury with Seth Rollins, and you kind of got to play that up. So him to have come or for him to have him come out and do that would be crazy. Just I
Yeah.
could just imagine the pop
Oh,
once his music hits. As much as we don't like
well,
Seth Rollins, yeah, he's gonna have a pop. A
here's the
lot of
thing.
other people do.
Here's the thing. I don't want his music to hit.
Ooh,
I want him to come from the crowd in a hoodie because nobody's expecting him, right? Come from the crowd with a hoodie on. As soon as that match is over, smack him in the back of the head with the suitcase, call for the bell, pin him, boom, done.
or Jey Uso's music hits, and you think Jey Uso's coming out because Uso's got history with Gunther, and everybody's thinking
Nah,
Uso's coming out, but then Rollins comes out.
nah, I wouldn't muddy the water. I don't think Punk should not have the time to see that Rollins is there.
Well, but no, they could still do that, but you hear Uso's music, and they're like, "Well, where's Uso?" And then out comes
I,
Rollins. I don't know.
I wouldn't want that.
Okay,
I would want it to be like, who the hell is this in the ring all of a sudden? Like it's 1, 2, 3, Punk's your winner, stands up, holds his hand, all of a sudden right behind him is somebody, boom, with the briefcase, smacks him in the back of the head, knocks him down, knocks him out. Ref, here you go, ring the bell. 1, 2, 3, we're done. Fuck you. And
okay,
it's like, what the fuck just happened? Holy shit. Because you had that crowd like going crazy all champ in 8 seconds.
yeah,
And that roller coaster of emotion is what wrestling is all about. But if Punk wins and then you hit his music, it's kind of like, holy shit, but like now I gotta wait for him to come to the ring.
yeah.
And now I gotta wait,
I
it's
get
kind of
you.
like I want that to be fucking holy, what the fuck? What just happened? And let
Yeah,
people digest what the hell happened after the fact. But if they have too much time, you're giving them too much time. Oh, this is kind of cool. Now I'm gonna maybe I'll cheer for Rollins back. No, you want to like cheer and you just fuck me. That's just my opinion.
yeah, yeah. I could see. Yeah, that'd be great. I,
So anyway,
I would like it either way, to be honest. I mean, but there's a chance that we might not have it at all. Rollins might not
sure,
even come out.
absolutely,
um,
absolutely.
and in that event, do you think Punk's still gonna win?
Um, and if Rollins is not going to be there, it's a toss up. Does Paul Heyman come out and screw Punk? Does
Bronson or
Braun
Braun?
Breaker come
Yeah,
out?
yeah,
And screw Punk, or does Punk just go over? But again, you know, I
I just don't see him going over. To be honest, I don't think Punk is somebody that needs a belt.
no, not if Rollins is not there. I don't think he does. But if Rollins is there, yes, because that adds fuel to the fire, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, if Rollins not there, I agree. I don't think him being a champ right now doesn't. He's so over anyway. Unless they want to, because Rollins is out. Unless they want to have then, Gunther chasing after Punk for the belt to get it back again. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe now Gunther joins the Empire. We had said, but
Yeah.
just he's a month late. He's a month late on our predictions. So,
Yeah,
the train
it,
from
it
Germany
took
just
some time
arrived.
for them to incorporate our ideas into the script. So
They caught our podcast late, and
yeah,
you know.
we know they watched
I'll
the
tell
show.
you what, though, it was great to see they have that new show where they show some of the writing room, creative team,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and Ed
yeah,
Koski is still there. Ed started when I was there, so he's been there 24 years. That's incredible.
yeah. I want to watch that show. It looks pretty interesting just to see that behind the scenes of it all.
Yeah,
I've seen clips of it, just not full episodes.
right.
But yeah, I just don't see Punk winning that title. Even if he does, he's not
Yeah,
going to keep it because shenanigans are going to happen. But
we'll see what happens, right?
yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
That's night one in the bag.
Night
Then we go to
one,
night two,
night
and you got
two.
night two. You got the Wyatt Six, right, with Loomis and Gacy. They're the champs right now of this tag team division, and they're going against Andrade and Ray Phoenix, DIY against Fraxium, and against Motor City Machine Guns. Oh, and against the Street Profits. Holy shit. 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Championship. That's a lot of bodies out there, especially in a tag team division I couldn't give a shit about. No,
Oh man, yeah,
I think the Wyatt Six end up winning this.
they have to. I feel like they got to win this just because I feel like
Well, well, let me backtrack. I'm gonna recant my prediction and say the Street Profits.
why?
Because the Street Profits were chasing these belts, and now they wanted to push them as a dominant tag team, um, and I think that this type of match, this definitely is a Wyatt Six type of match, right? It's got tables, ladders, chairs, all that crazy shit. But if you really want to build your tag team divisions, really legit tag team, in my opinion, in this match, Street Profits, the rest are these just either small little guys or guys who are just thrown together. This is a way to make your tag team division right here, putting the number one tag team over. And in my opinion, I mean, the Wyatt Six are not, even them are not really, those guys are not tag team, in my opinion. They're more of a faction.
Yeah.
So I would put the Street Profits over here.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anybody else other than the Wyatt Six on this card.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah.
Oh,
But so
there we go.
I think the Wyatt Six are gonna win just because you
Because you
gotta
know them.
you gotta have them with the title around Halloween season. I mean, they're the only like horror themed anything in WWE right now. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Could be
I
it.
don't know. But
Then you got Dominic Mysterio
oh
against
yes.
AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. Dominic's a champ going into this match. Um, I mean, I see AJ Styles beating him. I don't see. I mean, it is kind of a tough call because you just had uh, Dominic Mysterio at AAA, and pop was huge. You know, so I don't know if they want him losing that belt because down there. Um, I do think AJ Styles will win this match, and
I think whoever loses the belts between the Roxanne and Raquel match, if they lose the belts, I think Dominic's gonna lose the belts because then like I don't
I
know.
think Liv comes back and all the belts are gone.
Yeah, yeah, that could happen.
What the fuck happened here?
Yeah, that could honestly happen. But
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I honestly would love to see Dominic win and keep the belt. I think Dominic is an insane talent in the ring. And I think he and on the mic too. Uh, and but so is AJ Styles. I mean, you have these. I honestly hope that this feud lasts. Maybe till the next pay per view or PLE or whatever you want to call it, because I think
Yeah.
that this feud right now has been fun to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could see AJ winning. I don't want him to win. I want Mysterio to win, but I think AJ's gonna take the belt. I think this SummerSlam you're gonna have the Judgment Day just lose their belts. I don't know. Because what is our the other dudes, Finn Balor and McDonough, are they wrestling? No, doesn't seem like it.
They're not, but they could come out here during this match to help Dominic.
They could. They could.
Yeah. I mean, they'll be on the card somehow. If it's night one, night two, I don't know, but
Yeah.
you know, they'll
Yeah.
be around.
It'd be interesting to see. I think you know. I don't. I mean, I don't know what other matches we have on night two, but I think this could be the best match for night two, honestly. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think the
Well,
best match for night one is going to be Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. uh,
yeah. Well, I think Gunther and CM Punk is going to be a classic.
oh yeah, that's going to be a good match. Never
Well,
mind, forgot about that.
but also, Stratton and Cargo will be good. But yeah, I think Zayn and Cross will be a really good match too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a toss up between those two matches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think this match is going to be the best night of, or the best match of night two.
I think it'll be a toss up between this and another match that we're going to talk about later.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah, but I think you're right. I think it's going to be a great match.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then you've got Solo Sikoa, who's the United States champion, against Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. This is also going to be a good match. Um, I mean, when was the last time we saw a steel cage match?
Yeah, I think it's been a minute, but I mean, I think the big guy comes up from underneath the ring or something. I don't know. I really, honestly, I've gotten to the point where I've seen so many of this family shit going on. I'm over it, and I don't really care.
Yeah, they're
I
all
think
going to
Jacob
come
Fatu
out.
wins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all going to come out. They're all going to be in the cage, and they're all going to wrestle in the cage. Yeah.
right. Or the big guy's gonna rip the door out of the cage, or he's gonna ring, or something like that. But it's gonna be something that we've seen before, and this, yeah. So Fatu Jacob wins, I think, and gets his belt back.
You think? I hope not. See, I want Solo to have the belt for when they do the feud with Solo and Reigns. Because like they got to have that feud. Because they
I
go ahead.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
want them to have that feud. I don't, because to me that's a step back. I want to get Reigns away from all
The family
the
stuff.
family shit. Yeah, give me a new storyline, something fresh for him. He's only there for he's there for limited dates. And if
All
this is what
right.
he does, everybody goes back. For me, anyway. And you could be right. I mean, this is exactly. I mean, it's easy, right? That's where it could go. But for me, I'd prefer him to be away from all that shit and give me a storyline that's not involving his family for the first time in
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah. That'd be great.
You
That
know, but
I,
you're probably right though. You are probably right. I mean, that's the direction they might be going in.
yeah, because right after Roman left, that's when Solo was doing all that. I'm the tribal chief now, and all that stuff. And I just feel like kind of have to put an end to that at some point to where he can.
Well, he did when he came back and he got the Ulafala from him, right? I mean, that was they did that last year, right?
Where Roman Reigns came back.
Yeah, I remember he got the Ulafala back from Solo.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, never
Yeah,
mind. Never mind. I don't remember, but I
yeah,
honestly would
but
like Solo to keep the belt. I like Solo having the belt. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I like him having it too. I think it adds to his character. I think he's great. I think he's good in the mic. I think he plays that heel. He's
Yeah.
that fucking dastardly heel. Like not he's a dick. Not that he's a guy I hate. He's just kind of like, okay, I'll watch him as a heel because
Yeah.
he's fun to watch. You know.
Yeah, and Jacob Fatu, I don't think there's a lot you could do with if he has the belt. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, he's one dimensional, and
Yeah.
he was cool at first, but it's just like the same stuff over and over again with him.
Yeah. The Samoan
Yeah.
werewolf or whatever they call him. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. I think
Then,
Solo's
then,
gonna win. I think they're gonna have him win. But
then we got Becky Lynch, champ against Lyra Valkyria.
I think it was this last night on the most recent episode of Raw. Lyra's music pops and the crowd doesn't. The crowd
Oh, let me
was
tell you something.
dead silent.
That promo, her promo was awful, number
Oh,
one.
yeah.
And then when Becky came out, her retort to her promo was absolutely awful. It was the shits. This was a terrible segment for Raw. And you know, it didn't do anything to help hype this matchup at all because it was crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets. And they can't put the belt on Lyra because she cannot talk. She cannot get over with the crowd.
Yeah.
They got to send her back to NXT, repackage her, and it is what it is.
I mean, it was funny. She came on the mic in 2 weeks. No, in 1 week.
in 2 belts, 2 matches.
Like, yeah, you gotta cook
I
a
wanted
little
the
more.
Count from Sesame Street to pop up and go, ha ha ha, one,
Yeah.
two. Yeah,
Yeah, she's
but
gotta cook a little more.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but
Not digging that, but I don't think they put the belt on her because she's just not over. And
yeah,
if she was a heel, maybe, but as babyface, getting no reaction when you come out and getting no reaction when you say certain things in a promo to try and elicit a reaction is not good.
yeah,
So, and then when she gets attacked, nobody gives a shit either. So, um,
yeah.
I see Bailey turning heel.
Bailey's gonna come out, I think.
Yeah, yeah, she's got to turn heel, and I don't know.
Go after Becky.
Maybe
I want Bailey with the belt.
I think that she screws Lyra, and after the match, she's going to town on Lyra, and Becky, like, what the fuck? I got to go back, and Becky turns face, saves Lyra, and now you have heel Bailey against babyface Becky, and Lyra goes back to NXT.
See ya.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
See ya next Tuesday, Lyra.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday. It's not Tuesday, not because she's. Yeah.
What? Not because she's European, like Tuesday? It's Tuesday, isn't it?
No, Tuesday. No, because CUNT, see you next Tuesday. They're not calling her that.
Oh,
Well, no,
yeah, would have never
it's
got
because
that.
NXT is on Tuesday. But it's okay. She can change her gimmick down there and just have at it.
Do
Get
her
some
little
promo
hand
class.
thing. I don't know. It's
Yeah, get rid of the
ridiculous.
wings, and do something different.
Yeah,
Not
I mean, like,
working.
I know you got the wings, but like, be more like a Viking or something. Like your name's Valkyria, be more like a Valkyrie. And I understand the wings, the whole fucking
Right.
Valkyrie shit. But like, I don't
Right.
know, like be more of like a fucking,
She definitely that would be a good gimmick for her if she was more aggressive and a
yeah,
heel, right? But what she's doing right now is just not working, and it's got to go.
agreed. Get her out of
NXT.
there. Send her back to Shawn Michaels. Uh,
Hey, anybody can fix her? Shawn Michaels, let me tell you. Now, next match is my match of the night, and that's Naomi, the champ, against
Oh yeah,
Rhea against Io.
you're right.
Fucking can't wait for this match. Let
This
me tell you
might this
something.
match is probably going to be a really good one. I mean, just the
These
chemistry
three,
you have Io and Rhea, and then you have Naomi just thrown in there. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This could be the match of the night for night
could
two.
be.
Could be the
Could
match of
be.
the whole pay-per-view.
It could be. You're right. Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
but
But I think Naomi stays champ. She has to. She's so fucking good right now.
yeah, that whole
I
like
love her promos. I
proceed
love
with
her facial
caution, like
reaction.
that whole thing is just like beautiful. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And the laugh sells it for me.
Yeah,
When she does that laugh, oh man, it cracks me up. Because it's like you're a bitch. Like, which is
yeah,
what she's going for, right? That's obviously not the person really, but you know what I'm saying? That character is just she is a bitch. Because
yeah.
she is just
You don't see Seth Rollins cashing in?
on Naomi, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Nah, the WWE would never do something like that. As
No,
much
not
as much as
ever, but
no, I think they would
I mean,
never do something like that.
If Santino won money in the bank, I could see it happening.
Oh
But
yes, yes,
not with Seth Rollins.
yeah,
But no, I see Naomi keeping the belt. What do you say?
yeah, 100%. I mean, I think Naomi will probably be like out uh for the whole match. Well, not for the whole match, but I think she's not going to be. I still think it's going to be Rhea versus Io the whole match. That's going to be the main like thing. I don't think you're going to see Naomi as much just because she's that heel. She's just waiting for them to knock each other down. Um,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I think the main focus will be on Rhea and Io just because they have that history, and yeah, and then Naomi's just going to take it just because they've just been so focused on each other. I don't know. I think Naomi's going to win.
I agree. That's great. I love that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Naomi plays the chicken shit heel. She stays out of the action. Lets them beat each other up. And
Yeah.
then she just tries to come into the pin when it's convenient,
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, I think she does. I think she stays champ because she's just got the belt and she's so over as a heel. You know, keep it on her for another few months at least. I
Who did
mean,
she
I would keep
take the belt off of? Oh, yeah, Rhea or Io Sky.
heel.
Yeah,
Yeah, she cashed in.
that's right.
Yeah, I would have her all the way to Mania, whoever she's going to work at Mania. Because she's doing a great job. She's incredible.
Yeah. Because what? Uh, Stephanie Vicaire is gonna have to go up against whoever wins the match, right?
Right.
Which
That's
at Survivor Series
I don't know.
Clash in Paris.
Yeah, Clash in Paris. That's what it is. There
Okay.
you go. Mhm.
Stephanie Vicaire has been. I think she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of her recently, man, just, yeah, yeah. I want more of her in the women's
Oh, we
division.
all. Yeah.
I don't know about her finisher. Her finisher is kind of weird. It doesn't
Well,
really,
that's not the finisher, but it's still
or
something.
signature, whatever you want to call it. But like, I just don't like. I get it, but when you watch it, you're like, I could tell that they're not making any contact with the ring.
Yeah. It's getting a little overexposed because it's happening every single match. I think it's
Yeah,
something keeps for PLEs maybe, you
yeah,
know, and uh, you know, and then everybody's doing the arms, the same motion.
yeah,
So like, okay,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, I know why it's in. I know why they're showing it. You know,
hey, you know,
so it gets the people
yeah.
watching. But I don't know. As I don't know. As a I don't even know in what context I would view it in, but I just don't really care for that move.
Yeah, well, right. Booker T loves it. Um,
Yeah, they always make a point of that, which I find funny. But
well, because you had to listen to his commentary on NXT when she was doing it on NXT, and he just went insane. He just like
oh,
almost passed out. He loved it so much.
gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch NXT, so I was ignorant to
That's all
that
right.
fact. But
And then
yeah,
we have the main event of the main events. John Cena, the undisputed WWE champion, taking on Cody Rhodes, defending his championship against Cody Rhodes.
in a street fight.
It is a street fight.
Uh,
Which, go ahead.
who knows if that's gonna mean anything?
Who runs the streets?
I don't know. The meter maid? I don't know.
The final boss runs the streets, man.
Oh, you think The Rock's gonna come out?
I still think Cody Rhodes is turning heel. Again, a month late. WWE fucked this up. They really did. And that's okay. I forgive them. They've been busy. But I still think Cody Rhodes turns heel. And he takes the title off John Cena.
Interesting. Because this would be his last match with the title, huh? If that's the case.
If that's the case. And then you have non-title match between him and Gunther for his last match.
Interesting.
Because you can't win his last match and become a champion. But again, I don't know. It's such a bizarre thing because we know when he's
Yeah, that's
so
why I still don't think he's retiring.
I mean, who knows at this point?
Yeah,
But then do you keep to the
that was
last
the
match?
biggest problem I had when they announced this retirement tour. It was like, well, now I know how long he's gonna stay. Like, it's not
Yeah.
really that interesting. I mean, it started to become interesting when you turned him heel, and you're like, oh, okay. But then you still kept that retirement tour gimmick just in the fashion of a heel, which I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems, in hindsight, it seems weird. But I mean, at the time, it was, a lot of people were like, dude, Cena's heel now. Like, the hell's gonna happen? But I just feel like it's kind of been a little underwhelming, um, in my opinion. But I don't know because I don't watch SmackDown.
Yeah, but I think they've gotten what they needed out of it. The shock value and building up the interest in his final run and him getting to be a heel that he wanted to be,
Yeah.
a while ago that Vince didn't want to turn him. I think I think they've gotten out of what they wanted to. But I think it's time to turn him back and give him those last few months babyface. So when he does go out, he goes out on to the biggest pop possible. And if he does lose the title to Cody Rhodes and heel, I see then they have a rubber match as his last match, and he actually wins the championship on his last match. I was like, what the fuck now? And he hands the belt over, 17-time champion. Actually, that'd be 18-time champion, right? Or is it 7? Okay. And he hands the belt back to Triple H, and then there's the championship.
Mm.
Or because it's December, I think is his last match.
Yeah.
The winner of the Royal Rumble gets the title.
Ooh, just
Which they've only done
automatically
one.
gets the title.
They've only done that once before, and Ric Flair was the winner. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I don't think they'll do that.
Huh?
I don't think they'll do that. Doesn't seem like
No?
something that they would do. But maybe that's why
Okay.
they would do it.
You just never know. I mean, that's the thing. Right now, it's so good and it's so kept under wraps that it's hard to really predict this. And I love it. And I love that we have these different ideas, and I don't care about being wrong because then I'm more surprised.
Yeah.
And as long as it's a good surprise, not like my idea was better than that shit, you know. But we'll see what happens. But I would take the belt off Cena here. I would, and they mess Cena up, and Cena then have him and Cody Rhodes do the rubber match as his last match. and it's for the belt, and Cena wins it. And even though he said he'd destroy wrestling, and he can't do that, and he gives the belt back to Triple H, and he thanks everyone. Rides out into the sunset.
Interesting. But what about Seth Rollins? You think he'll come out during this match?
No, because he's coming out during the other match, and he's taking the belt from Punk.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That makes sense because he's married to Punk for the near future, so I don't see him getting involved in other stories. I mean, you made a good point saying he always said that Punk will never be a champion as long.
Yeah.
So the fact that Punk wins that belt and loses it 5 seconds later, I think it's a bigger storyline than him getting involved. Cena and Rhodes.
Yeah.
But
that's true. It's very true. But he does have the money in the bank, so we kind of have to, factor that in. There is a possibility, but I don't see it happening. I feel like there's going to be a bigger appearance than Seth Rollins during this match, and I think you said it right. It's got to be The Rock. Cody's got to turn heel.
Well, it won't be Travis Scott. They're done with him.
Are they? Did they say that?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, nobody liked when he came out and did what he did. I mean, whatever.
He was awful. Yeah, he did a shitty job anyway.
Yeah.
So they can forget about that and just have The Rock. But again, I mean, I don't know. I'm just pulling shit out of my ass right now. I mean, it's not something that has been discussed that I know of anywhere that I've seen. It's just my own little insane shit. Again, 2 things that happened that should have happened last month are going to happen this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to those things. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's all I got. SummerSlam 2025.
Yeah, SummerSlam 2025 happening in New Jersey. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, is anybody from New Jersey that's wrestling?
Fuck if I know.
No. Yeah, whatever.
No. I don't know where these guys are from or whatever.
Yeah, but do you think it's going to be a good SummerSlam?
I think it's going to have some decent matches. I think you're going to have some matches that are just like, eh.
There's so many matches I feel like you can't have all of them be bad.
You can't have all of them bad, but you also can have all of them be great. You got to set a tempo. There's going to be some matches that are like, hey, let's back a little bit because the next match we want to follow. We want that bigger pop. So they're going to be in a way that makes sense to keep the crowd alive. But as always, I mean, sometimes that night 2 fatigue, it's if it's the same crowd from the previous night, it can be tough.
Yeah, I don't like these 2-night event like things. I just it's like it kind of like you always know that they're holding out something for that night 2. They're holding out something. There's no like why do a night 2 if you're not going to have something big happen on night 2,
Yeah. I mean, it's just a business thing, right? It's just make more money, right?
Yeah.
We can do 2 nights in a row, get double the value. Fuck it, let's go. We got the talent. We got enough talent.
Yeah, plus most people are off on the weekend, so might as well get paid for 2 days.
And I tell you what, speaking of talent, of having enough talent, somebody on X had said about WCW, and I was like, Shane Helms reposted it or something like that, and I commented on Shane Helms' post saying the Hurricane, saying yes. I mean TKO, they own all this now with WWE. They could bring back WCW as its own thing, separate from WWE. Get a deal somewhere, separate from Netflix. They could even put it on Prime or put it on, some other streaming service.
Yeah.
Have it a separate company, totally 2 separate creative teams, separate, just a whole separate company. It's WCW. Bring it back, revive it. And that would be freaking cool, in my opinion.
That would be
another wrestling promotion. It's owned by the same parent company, but They are not. It's just like it was back in the day. 2 separate rosters, separate contracts, separate business deals, separate everything. So you can't just cross over. Whole new company when you go to WWE or WCW. That would be cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool. It'd be like, what do you got, AEW? Nothing.
Yeah.
You got nothing.
And that would really put AEW in a hurting spot, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because that would steal a lot of talent from there. Although there's not a lot of talent in AEW that I would take, if they're insistent on doing the flippity flip shit,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But we'll have to wait for this weekend. We'll see how it does. How SummerSlam
Yeah.
is going to be for us.
Saturday.
What's that?
Saturday, I won't watch live. I won't be able to watch it till later that night.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to watch these live either. But
Sunday I'll watch live probably.
okay.
I will not text you anything.
Yeah, but yeah, I it's getting to this point where I have to unfollow all the wrestling stuff on my Instagram because they're just quick with it. I open my Instagram and boom, they tell me
Yeah, I
the
need to
spoilers.
stay away from it.
Yeah,
I stay away from social media. I'll not watch it.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think our predictions are pretty solid, and
yeah,
we'll just have to see them come true this weekend. But you have anything else to add? Anything else you want to sprinkle in here?
No. Enjoy SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It's going to be a crazy.
Don't want to dig on my shirt. Superman.
Yeah, I love Superman.
Yeah, it's not the new one.
It's not. Yeah, I'm not crazy about the movie.
Yeah, well,
it's all right.
I did see Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was good, just not as good as Superman.
Yeah, cool. I saw it last night, huh?
Yeah, it was good, just not as good as Superman.
Colin told me. I think that was better than Superman.
Yeah, well, he could be wrong.
I think you might have been just pulling my leg, though.
No, he did say he liked it better than Superman, but I don't know. Superman. I like Superman. I thought it was way better than Fantastic Four. Not saying Fantastic Four was bad, but anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been the Doyledin podcast. Have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever your time zone may be, don't forget to stay Doyledin. And we'll see you after SummerSlam. And take care.